haven't checked in with the age recently.
We have not.
Famously or infamously, more likely, AtariAge was the, I want to say, main internet base of operations for one CEO, ex-CEO of Intellivision Entertainment, Tommy Talarico, and his goons and denizens and those who supported him, and also took shots at any critics, mild or otherwise, including Ian, me, Kevtris, other YouTubers. And it was, and the mods and the owner of AtariAge turned mostly a blind eye for multiple years. Unfortunately, a black guy on the website and the reputation of its community, since they were so stalwart defenders against previous scams such as the Coleco Chameleon.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's kind of a permanent black eye without an apology. It was pretty shitty.
Yes,
especially because we were pretty chummy during the Chameleon, the Coleco Chameleon era. But, you know, they all got starstruck by Tommy's, you know, big googly eyes.
Oh, he worked on video games in the 90s.
So that means he's going to fucking win.
Hand jobs all around.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was unfortunate that it happened. Then Albert, who ran the site, eliminated the thread. Thankfully, it was backed up, just about all of it.
Yep.
By at least one person I know, and also there's a searchable version of that thread. You can see all of the straight out lies, besides the libel against us and others. You see the lies about the console and things that never happened with it. You know, all about all the money they had to make the console, all the great connections in the industry they made, all the properties that are going to be on. Wouldn't that be something? Was Tommy's tagline in there when people asked about stuff coming out, with the insinuation that yes, what you said, crazy person on the forum, will happen. Everything you suggest is going to come to pass, and none of it did. Zero of it did.
None.
That said, there's now been a couple of threads that have come out that are more freely allowed to discuss, as a rational person, the Intellivision Amico and what it has become, and why it failed, and why it was a bad idea, and why there were so many things said that people should have been more critical on. And fortunately, and hopefully my words won't get it locked, fortunately, people are allowed to actually express the truth about the Intellivision Amico on the forum now.
So it's the Intellivision Amico's trademark change to abandoned page. And some people start bringing us up fairly early on, and they start saying, hey, you know, Pat and Ian were right all along, and this, that, and the next thing. And someone gets upset. Do you have the one pulled up where they say that you said outright that you wanted it to be the next Coleco Chameleon because it was good for the podcast.
I don't have that quote, but someone says that I said directly that I wanted the Amico to become the next Coleco Chameleon. I never uttered those words.
Right.
Ever on the podcast.
Nope. Not once. Not in any video. We never said that. We were so careful the whole time to try to be reasonable.
I think we went out of our way to not even say Coleco Chameleon while we covered the Amico.
I think I might have brought it up in the first video. I think I said, coming off the Coleco Chameleon, this seems like a risky maneuver, but
not nothing to tie it to Coleco Chameleon as a scam.
Right, exactly. Not
because when you say Coleco Chameleon, what you're basically saying is we want us to be a scam. We never wanted it to be a scam. It turned into a scam sometime in. Now the post-mortem will be, when did it become a scam? Was it year 1, 1.5, year 2? That's what is going to be interesting in the future. Once this gets dissected and once the NDAs are finally eliminated or broken and people talk about this. That said, you know the reason why I knew I never said it? Because had I said it in a video, that clip would have been pulled and used in all these lower level scumbag YouTubers that attacked us at the behest of Tommy Talarico directly.
Would have been everywhere. Yeah, Lath26. No, the CEO had nothing to do with Pat's quote. Pat just straight up said on camera that he hoped the Amico would turn into Coleco Chameleon, and that would be great for his ratings. You never saw that. That's fucking pathetic.
And that got then perpetuated.
You're believing what the CEO wants you to believe.
And that got perpetuated also by a piece of shit that lives about a half hour north of us in a video where he called me a fucking fraud.
He's done even worse to me. He's just one of the lowest fucking scumbags you could ever meet.
Low. Like, your fucking family should be ashamed to be associated with you low.
I've scraped better shit off my shoes.
Anyway, so that said, people came to our defense in the thread and basically said, hey, I watched the playlist of all our coverage, and I didn't see Pat say that. So people began walking it back, and people came to our defense, which was nice to see, because that happened back in the Clico Chameleon days when we were called drunken podcasters, and people said, no, Pat and I are being reasonable, they're being critical, but they're being reasonable when it comes to this.
And Mr. Beefy here points out, truth of the matter is the former CEO wanted you to believe that and you just accepted it. Truth is that same person had issues with people having opinions that weren't how he told you to think. You can't find the video because it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And then someone, Flojo Mojo, had a good response here. The person who, and then goes through all these things Tommy said, like 5, 6, 7 of them. And then, or do you want to trust B? 2 scruffy podcasters with opinions about everything and a moral compass that says taking money without giving something back is wrong.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to.
It's not our fault.
You can try to fucking tone police. You think we come off a little aggressive. The bottom line is, if that's basically what you have against us, is that we're critical of a console where people put out money and got lied to about the release date of the console and where along the line the production was, and we were the bad guys for pointing that out. We were bad guys for pointing out job listings for an unfinished console that was supposed to be finished, and you do videos calling me and Ian frauds because of that.
And then Mr. Beefy also pointed out, it was that video from that guy who basically twisted that line into an implication. It was all just spin.
The funny thing is that when you look at some of those scumbag YouTuber videos, even the people that follow, I don't know why you'd follow something like that. They even, like, the thumbs down, before when we had thumbs down, were legitimate, overwhelming, and people said, this is ridiculous. You're calling these people frauds for no reason. Like, so even the people that were following along watch time knew it was bullshit. Yeah. The line of attacks.
And I do want to point out, to give the people at AtariAge, credit where credit is due. A lot of them have been like, yeah, they were right and we were wrong. So it's nice to see that there are people who can admit mistakes. And this guy Howling Mad, to his credit, honestly, they were pretty spot on. I mean, they didn't have any axe to grind with anything TT and or IE. We didn't. At first, I mean, we literally had, I had no problems with the Intellivision or Tommy Talarico initially. Kudos to them for seeing this project for what it was worth, when a lot of others, including myself, really thought this would potentially be great and was in no way, shape, or form a scam. Yeah,
here's the Lay 26 quote directly. One notable exception to the nearly everyone, including haters, want Amico to release and succeed is Pat the NES Punk. He publicly stated early on in his own video that he hoped the Amico would turn into the Clico Chameleon, specifically because it would be good for his channel's ratings.
You are an easily duped fool.
Early on, it was Ian joking about that he liked Tommy Talarico finger cage. And we said it's probably not the best idea to bank on an IP that no one fucking remembers or cares about 40 years ago. But we hoped, because we liked Tommy, that it would succeed, even though we had high doubts. That's literally how we started the conversation off for the first probably 4 videos we did about it.
This feels kind of like a victory lap.
It's a semi-victory lap because like
we're qualifying for the victory lap right now.
This is a qualifying lap.
We're qualifying for the victory lap.
This is the qualifying pole position lap. Yes. This is the qualifying pole position lap here. But when you see, what's so discouraging about all this is not like, I don't want to do videos like this where I just say, how dare you attack me for being wrong when I'm right? Yes, it feels good, but it should never have gotten to this point.
Right.
It should have been, the thread is open. Tommy should not be gotten a virtual hand job in his thread, and criticism should have always been allowed on AtariAge. Always. And I don't know if something was being held over the head of the owner of AtariAge, but it looks like to me it was, from how Tommy was treated with like, hands off Tommy. He can make fun of other people. He can get away with stuff that no one else can get away with on our forums. And it's so questionable about why that was allowed for years. Why was it allowed?
Because Tommy is a big name in the video game industry.
So on the heels of that, I guess the news came about the closing of their Santa Ana Intellivision office with the door.
We noticed it was closed a few weeks ago, but now the listing is up.
We have a listing if you want to rent, with the Intellivision Running Man logo still on the doors on the front, Intellivision secret lair on the glass, when they get that printed on.
Oh yeah,
little white, secret, little frosted glass. Yeah. Anyway, so you can now access and rent that space for yourself, and see pictures of the once proud lair of Tommy Talarico, including his man cave office setup that he had there. So this listing is on loop.net, It's at 1840 to 1856 Carnegie Avenue in Santa Ana, California. That's an insane amount of size for a startup like this.
Yeah.
It's not like they're producing and putting together, they're not running all these out and shipping out hundreds of thousands of units. They're doing just the R&D there.
And I need to point out, like, this is clearly what the secret. If you have ever believed in the secret, stop.
The self-help bullshit?
Yeah, this is Tommy trying to manifest his big boy fucking company, and it's pathetic. No one starts out with an office that size. He just thought if he had an office that size, magically Intellivision would be a big deal.
I can do my videos during lunchtime. He put out multiple videos. That's how we found out that this is a bad thing to say, that his cornhole was fucked. But that's how he found out, because he did it during one of his big, invite the friends and family to our 20,000 square foot place, and we'll do a lunch, and we'll make sure we're having fun. Investors will see this. And that's really what this was. It was a giant fucking charade that was wasting all the investor dollars and all the pre-order dollars in order to do this shit. This wasn't their only office. They had the one out in Salt Lake City as well, that they probably closed up, I don't know, a month after they did the video showing it out there.
Right.
Where Nick, the CFO, just basically got off the fucking plane. He was tired and shows him in a cubicle working just so Tommy can show a video that, hey, we got 2 offices. We're a big company. We're doing big things. You did shit as a company with 2 locations. You released nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
So anyway, it's just funny that in this video, you can see the front desk where they infamously had their Intellivision Running Man logo, nailed to the front of it, metallic logo. That's gone. Their Intellivision's metallic sign that was on the wall behind the front desk, that's gone. That stuff costs money. That's not free.
That costs a lot of money. That didn't go towards development.
I would love to be proven wrong that Tommy wrote the checks in order to make that shit for the office. I highly doubt that happened. On the desk, you can see mail piled up there and 2 Uline catalogs. So the Uline catalogs I even get sent to my business address. They must discover Uline is where you can order everything. You can order freaking a janitor buckets, and you can get big storage, moving carts. It's like anything you need for an office or a business. It's things you didn't know existed. You can get like the industrial size toilet paper rolls you see in airports. You can get all that stuff, Ian, at Uline. So the fact that there's 2 on the desk means they've been gone for months, probably 3. Maybe 4 months they haven't been in this office at this point. Yeah. And it's just really sort of sad to see. The far wall, Ian, is the Amico blue. Yes. They probably painted that wall, spent money for a startup with 0 revenue coming in to paint their office Amico blue.
And if you look at the offices with the glass like windows and doors, you can see the little Amico running men etched on there.
That all costs money.
They spent a lot of money on shit that does not matter.
No, it doesn't. And then obviously they had the door that said Haters Dungeon, one of their office meeting doors. That's a good looking kitchen, and you're getting some for your money here at least. That kitchen is luxurious for an office kitchen.
I think the kitchen is really nice.
That fridge is bigger than my fridge at Castle Country. Did you see that fridge?
Yes, I did. It's massive.
It's a massive fridge there. Lot of counter space.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a stove.
Oh, they also painted Amico blue around all those individual offices. Yeah, we really need 6 glass offices with the glass doors. 6 offices. The amount of space here is nuts. It's nuts. What was the other information on here about how many you get? Like, what was it 60 standard parking spaces, 5 drive-in bays. Drive-in bays, like
5.
You can load and unload shit.
5.
This is not what you should have needed. I'm not.
Jesus.
5. I'm not telling you how to run your business.
I am.
But you do not need this amount of space.
Sure, we are
for this amount of employees.
No, you
especially since a lot
don't.
of people could have worked from home. On software dev, we talked about that. We were talked down by time. Remember the time?
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't work with this stuff from home.
Do this at home.
Even though, I don't think, Blaze behind Evercade was renting out a 28,000 square foot place, or the people behind Analog. They're doing a lot of stuff at home. They during the pandemic were able to adjust, and get things done like the rest of the world. But not good old Intellivision Entertainment. We're going to waste all this money. So, our pal Kev Trist gave me an estimate of how much it was to rent this place per year. It was about $220,000 he estimated per year to rent this place out.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that over 2-3 years, over $500,000 to cosplay as a CEO. To basically pretend we're doing all this work When I'm not saying no office space is needed. Not this.
Right.
Not
of
this
course,
waste.
we're not saying office space isn't needed. We're not saying you can't have an office, but that's absolutely ridiculous. You just don't need anywhere near that much.
No, this wasted so much money that you can't even begin to calculate. Like, I don't know, a fourth of this money, maybe, if you want to say, we spend $50,000 a year on space. I can say maybe that's reasonable without me knowing something. I don't know, but again, if a lot of the people can do this stuff from home, then but then you can't do your little videos showing that you're a real company with people and having your little lunches and putting.
I'm a big boy.
Anyway, that's all I got for that, Ian. It's just. And then you want to talk about Bomb Squad, the wire test.
Real quick. So there was a longer video posted to YouTube about for Bomb Squad, and I'm just going to cut down. So this is from IHQ Devs, who posted this video on Bomb Squad. And he says, I can clear it up as I posted it. This unedited take is running on Amico hardware to the best of its ability. I put it up to an unlisted YouTube link so it would be easy for the relevant Amico people to see it. It was a reach out to say, hey, code-wise we're good here, but it's not running correctly on the machine. Here are all the takes so you can see what isn't working, which is to say pretty much all of it. Lag, animation stuttering, missed commands. It was a mess at this period of time. They still used a clip for one of the videos, E3 maybe, and we talked about this when we discussed the E3 video, which is a bit surprising considering the lag that was clearly present in the wire cutting. They tap it and it's like 1 Mississippi. Maybe not that bad, but pretty bad.
This is a dev admitting there's lag on the controller.
This is like the first time, too, we've really heard from a dev talk about how bad the situation was. Because remember, this was one they really pushed. This was like after Tommy mewling and whining about how all these games couldn't be done on any other controller. This was the closest one. This was the game that was closest to actually using the controller in a meaningful way. And granted, you can do this on other consoles. Jackbox games do it all the time. You use your cell phone.
Or you can probably do a lot of this on the Switch.
So the lag was clearly present in the wire cutting. Perhaps this was the video that officially got Bomb Squad paused. I'm not certain. Oh, and that is an actual controller, not a smartphone.
Well, that's good to know that was an actual controller. What's bad is that it plays like shit. There's bugs. One time taps the wire to cut it on the screen on the controller. It doesn't cut there, but it cuts on the screen. Yep. Like you said, it just seems off. And this is the dev admitting it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they got permission from the dev in order to use the video, but maybe they don't need permission. I think this would have been that 6th packing game. I think this would have been another packing game.
Oh, that would have been a 7th because they said that the charades one was.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
This should have been a packing game because this would have actually showed the controller being used in a way that would be at least unique to it.
Right.
Instructions about looking on the controller. You know, if this is this, do this. Like that's what it's basically a little clue game. Cutting the right wire, things like that. That's all it is. Would have been interesting,
sure,
if the controller wasn't a piece of shit.
I mean, there's already a game like this. It's called Keep Talking and No One Explodes.
Okay.
Which is very good. You basically print out a manual, and then someone sits on the other side with the bomb on their screen or in a VR helmet, and they tell you what they see, and you have to read through the disarming manual.
And there's a timer.
And it's really fucking cool, actually. It's a fun game.
I think I heard of that. Someone said, thanks for the insight. Mario Man said, thanks for the insight. This is one of the games I thought was very intriguing. Thank you. No, it's just interesting. I really hope we're going to get to the point where you think there's going to be less and less news when it comes to this. I don't think so when the devs eventually start talking about their experiences with this stuff, if they do. On our games, if they get released or not. Some will be professional, won't bring it up. Some might be, this was a nightmare, and this is why, and run through the tally there. Anyway, well, that's all. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Was this what you said? This was the warm up lap. This was the first.
It's the qualifying lap.
Did we qualify? Did we get it? We got it under time on that.
Yeah,
we got it.
I think we're good.